Hello and welcome to the closing of the Climate Change Lexeme Week, or the Climate Lexeme Week. This will take you a little bit through what happened during the week and a little bit about the statistics and a little bit of my early thoughts about this already. And I have some troubles here in my stream. No, that will be fine. Like that. All right. So the Climate Lexeme Week was a part of the 30 lexic-o-days, which continues another few days until the 14th of April. And it was a themed week where we tried to edit in the topic of climate change, adding lexemes and especially connecting them to senses that I had a pre-selected list for. So I'm going to share that list here. Let me see if I can share the screen here. So here is the project page which you can actually find here. And this is a little bit of the background. You can go to see the intro here again if you want to. But here's a list of the 195 items on Wikidata that we selected through the article from English Wikipedia Glossary of Climate Change. And I cleaned it up a little bit. And these were the items that we were working on and hoping to connect as a sense to new lexemes. And as you can see, some of these are easier than others, and I'll come back to that soon. But how did it go then? So I made a few queries here, and for one of them was trying to see how many lexemes per language did we get. And as you can see here, the English one is the most common, and then French and Swedish and so on. Right now we have 50 languages having at least one connection. I'll show you a graph even. And then we also saw this where we can see how many of them per each. And what I thought was interesting here is that actually 170 out of these 195 concepts are now connected in at least one language. And we started this one at 145, so only 25 new were added. We added 25 new. And to see a little bit of the development, here is this graph. And these are all the languages that got something added during this week. And the blue bar in the top, you see every language has two bars. The blue bar is where they started, and the orange bar is about an hour ago. And of course, the week continues until the end of this week. So I'm going to do a proper one and upload to Commons a little bit later. And of course, work on Wikipedia or Wikidata never ends. So just continue working. But quite interesting here. We can see some languages had a lot of things added, prominently English and French, and then Swedish and Malayalam, and German today. And yes, and Russian came a lot today also as well. Yes. And of course, these are not totally comparable to each other because not all of these will be having a lexeme even in their language, whereas some will have more. So, and that's also something for the community to think about. But at least this gives you some kind of overview of the activity. And talking about activity, there's this super nice tool which is called Sparkle RC for recent changes, where you can feed them with Sparkle query, and it will show you the changes that have been done. And if I read this correctly, I'm not sure that I am, then 486 lexemes have been changed. This is not the number of changes, because as you see, there's edits, like here, there are 8 edits. And it could find 660. So I'm not totally sure what these numbers say. But at least we can see there has been a flurry of edits in many different languages. And since I expected that Wikidata editors are not really the ones that can spot an error and leave it be, and I had a list of 195 items, they were going to be edited as well. So I had a similar queries setting up here, and here we can see there actually 195. Now out of those 195, 118 were edited during this week. Then I was a little bit liberal here because of time zones. And I'm not sure this is even before today, end date today. I wonder if I can remove the end date. Right now I can't do anything. Oh no, did my computer freeze up? There we come back again. All right, so perhaps I should try closing something in between. Oh yes, I should really try closing something. So let's try close this, save. Oh, and here we also can see that there was some vandalizing going on. This has been corrected since, so you don't need to go there right now. And I lost my train of thought here when it froze. Yes, so that was the number of edits. So some thoughts that I had during this, I was editing myself as well, is this might have been a bit too hard of a topic area, because some of these terms are really specific, and trying to find out, even as a native speaker, what the word would be is not really easy. And for some of these, there are not even established terms in the language. I think there was, for one, I could actually find sources for 3 different ones used by various universities and institutions in meaning the same way, but they just chose different translations for it. So that's perhaps one thing. And then the other thing, which we had quite a good discussion, but we didn't reach any conclusion in the Friday Q&A, was that this one contained a lot of proper nouns and how we should deal with proper nouns as lexemes. This is something that we need as a community to think about a little bit harder. Do we want them in each language? Maybe we do. And the other thing was the difference between compound words and those that are not. So as we can see in this picture here, we have something like, we had the general circulation model, which is 3 words that are perfect as their own lexemes in English on Wikidata. So the question is, do we need one for the 3 of this when there's already an item for the concept? And this might vary for language. Some of these, I guess this would be only 2 words, perhaps even just 1 word in Swedish. So that will be different with the inclinations and stuff like that. So we need more, firstly, discussion, and then we need to add some more documentation about this somewhere on Wiki, on the documentation page. And those are the 2 tricky ones to figure out, the proper nouns and the combined versus non-combined. And the both sort of relate to notability in a larger sense. But as a test running this themed week, I had a lot of fun. It was pleasant not having to count all the edits that were being made, all the contributions, because there was no contest. I've been running contests like that, and it's really hard. Now, as you saw, I couldn't help making some statistics anyway, because I like to do it for fun, but I didn't need to keep the track of all the participants and their edits. I just could use the queries to get everything. And if I would do this again, which I think I will try to do it a little bit more basic, because there's still a lot to do. And in this one, we focused on connecting them to the items as senses, but we could also think about doing a total focus on getting each lexeme more complete, so to speak. Now, I'm pretty sure that most of the participants did that anyway, but I haven't really checked how they did, and it would be nice to have a sort of conversation what everyone feels is a good enough lexeme, and if we can learn from each other from that. And I think that was more or less what I wanted to sum up for this Climate Lexeme week. If you do have any questions, you could ask them right now, and I'll try to answer anything, or I'll hang out in the Telegram chat as I always do, or you can talk on Wiki on this talk page that's still uncreated. Yes, let's leave it at that, and I can do this video short and upload it to Commons quicker. All right, see you later.